안녕하세요. What is up, Ducks Quack Quack?
Danny.
David from DKDKTV, and we have some breaking news again regarding YG. I know everybody has been very shocked about this breaking news coming out day by day, and today we are here to give you another recap of what happened until yesterday and what happened today as well. So 2 days ago, June 12th, BI left iKON and YG terminated his contract permanently because of the allegations of drug use, which was reported and exposed by Dispatch. According to the report, Dispatch included a chat involving BI and his friend A, which had a dialogue that alluded to the purchase of LSD. On June 13th, the person A in the conversation with BI was revealed to be Han Seo-hee, the ex-YG trainee, that was also sentenced with 4 years of probation in 2017 for purchasing and smoking weed with Big Bang's T.O.P. And on June 14th, today, Dispatch released another interview with Han Seo-hee herself, and here is the content.
And before we go on to the interview, I just want to give a little bit of a timeline. So on April 2016, BI and Han Seo-hee had the alleged conversation regarding the purchase or the use of LSD that was reported on June 12th, 2 days ago of 2019. And on August 2016, Han Seo-hee was arrested by the police for purchasing and smoking weed. And in 2017, she was sentenced to the 4 years in probation. This interview she did with Dispatch was reported just today. In the interview, she revealed that, like I said, on August 22nd of 2016, she was arrested by the police in an emergency arrest for drug-related crimes. On that day, she testified to the police during the investigations that she admitted to smoking weed, and police also questioned about BI, which in the Dispatch article, it doesn't really clearly say, but it kind of alludes that she also admitted to BI's drug use as well. Police decided that she would not be detained because they saw that she had a low chance of escaping or destroying evidence. Previously, before this police investigations and her arrest, actually on June 1st of 2016, Winners Lee Sung-hoon called Han Seo-hee. And the reason for him calling Han Seo-hee was that he found out that BI had tested positive in an in-company drug test held at YG. And Lee Sung-hoon said BI admitted to smoking with Han Seo-hee to him. And Lee Sung-hoon told Han Seo-hee to meet him right away near the YG offices. When Han Seo-hee drove to the meeting place where she was supposed to meet Lee Sung-hoon, a stranger goes by the name of K, met her, and he told her that he came instead of Lee Sung-hoon. He also told her that anything regarding BI and his drug use is a secret. He also said that if anything happens to her, she should call him. So she did on August 22nd of 2016 when she was busted and arrested for the drug use allegations.
For T.O.P.'s case, right?
For T.O.P.'s case. That was August 22nd, 2016, and she called K right after the police investigations were over, and he gave her a visit on that day.
And there was actually additional news today that the person called K is actually the 기획실장 of YG. He's like the planning executive.
He's an important person.
In YG.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On August 23rd, 2016, Yang Hyun-seok, YG himself, called Han Seo-hee to his office. So the day after the police investigations, she was brought up to his office.
To the 7th floor.
To the 7th floor. She specifically said it was the 7th floor.
Everyone knows it's the 7th floor.
According to Han Seo-hee, YG, this is her quote, YG took her cell phone and turned it off, asked what she said to the police. She told YG that she had testified to the police regarding BI, smoking weed, and purchasing LSD. YG then told her that he doesn't like his artists getting investigated by the police. He said that the drugs shouldn't be detected since they are out of his system now. YG also said things like, "You need to be a good girl, not a bad one. And you said your dream was to be a singer. You're gonna be in the entertainment industry. It's easy for me to ruin your career." According to Han Seo-hee, YG himself told her to revoke the testimony regarding BI. And he told her that he can see all the police documents, which is kind of weird, you know. Usually those are confidential. He promised to appoint a lawyer for her, and he told her that he would pay her money.
Yeah.
No, not just the lawyer fees. He just
he would pay her
like for
a good
revoking,
amount of money
for revoking the testimony. This is all according to Han Seo-hee, by the way, during the interview.
So YG actually came out with a rebuttal with a totally different interviewer perspective than Han Seo-hee's, and he said in an interview that he admits taking her phone, but that was just in case she was recording. And also YG told Han Seo-hee that all the artists of YG take tests twice per month, and also BI was never tested positive, so he was negative. And he told Han Seo-hee that if BI was to go into investigations and got the test results as negative, Han Seo-hee, she could be accounted for malicious prosecution. So Han Seo-hee got scared and she revoked the testimony by herself.
According to YG.
According to YG.
So he's saying that he never pressured her into revoking her testimony against BI. She just got scared herself because what she was saying is, according to YG, not true. On August 30th, 2016, Han Seo-hee changed her testimonies to the police. So her initial questioning was 22nd, so within 8 days and within 7 days of her being brought up to YG's office, she changed her testimonies. Initially, she said that BI had been tested positive in the in-company drug test at YG. However, she revoked her statement twice, finally testifying that she had never heard of BI doing weed, and Lee Seung-eun didn't clearly know whether or not BI did weed either. During these testimonies, YG's lawyer was present by her side, directing her on what to say, according to Han Seo-hee. After her new testimonies that said BI didn't use drugs, the police filed away BI's allegations for good, pretty much. And on April 2019, Han Seo-hee filed an anonymous request to the Anti-Corruption and Civil Rights Commission, which is like an organization for anti-corruption.
And this is the exact organization which was used from the Kang Kyung-yoon 기자 who exposed Seung-ri's case.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it has no ties with the police. It's like from
it's a separate entity.
Vice President's entity.
So she filed an anonymous request to this organization for investigations on backdoor ties between YG and the police. She knew that she could, by asking for deeper investigation regarding this case, she could face potentially bigger punishment
because she's on probation. Right?
She's on probation, plus she's like sort of in the crossfire of all this, right? She's involved in some crimes inside that company. But she figured she would be the smoking gun and the key evidence of this entire case and resolving it. So she decided to file this request, and the big motive was her seeing the news regarding Burning Sun and how unsuccessful the police investigations were. So when she saw that, she felt like, okay, YG and police ties are still strong, and thus I gotta be, just step up and resolve this issue altogether.
And she actually posted a post on Instagram today, right? Saying that she was overseas currently, and then she was willing to come back. And
she is coming back.
Yeah, she is coming back right now, and she will participate with further interviews and investigations. She's kind of like stressed that people are focusing on her, because actually yesterday, for a substantial amount of time on Naver, trending #1 was Han Seo-hee instead of like Yang Hyun-seok or BI or YG Entertainment. So people were starting to bash on her again, like, oh, this whore, or this like
attention whore.
Like literal whore, like has relations with all the YG artists and do like drugs and stuff. So she said that's not the point. Like she admits that she has her own flaws, but at the same time, like she's coming back to make things right, to set things right, and to divert the focus back onto the investigations on YG and the ties between the police and all those kind of things. And after all of this happened today, it was a crazy day, and I just woke up to all of this news. And right now, like actually like 2 or 3 hours before, June 14th, YG officially came out to the news that he will step down from all positions and operations from YG. So he
YG
is
Entertainment.
YG Entertainment. So he is not a member of YG, or nor does he have any authority inside the company, except that he still has stocks.
Major
Shares.
shareholder.
Shares. I'll just read his statement.
So this is Yang Hyun-suk. I am so sorry to the fans who love YG and our agency celebrities. I'm also sincerely apologetic to all of our employees who are silently continuing to do their work throughout the downpour of criticism. I have been patiently tolerating words about the current situation that are too disgraceful and humiliating to mention, as they have been told indiscriminately, as though they are the truth. However, I think it's too difficult now. I think there can be no longer a situation where YG, our agency celebrities, and fans are experiencing harm due to me. For 23 years, I have dedicated half of my life and everything to growing YG. The work of supporting the best music and the best artists was the greatest happiness for me. I have thought that this is the only ability I can contribute to fans and society. However, I will step down from all of my positions and work at YG starting today. I sincerely hope that there is no further harm to YG agency celebrities I love and to the fans who love them because of me. Currently, there are many experts at YG who have more capabilities and sense than me. I think that my stepping down will be a good opportunity for them to exhibit their abilities better. It is my sincere wish that YG can stabilize as soon as possible. Lastly, I believe that the truth of the current media reports and malicious gossip will be revealed through investigations.
Almost simultaneously with this announcement on June 14th, today again, police announced that they will launch a task force to investigate BI and YG on suspicions of drug use and ties with the police. Another shocking news came out just an hour ago. Yang Min-seok, YG's brother and also the CEO of YG Entertainment himself, announced that he is also stepping down from YG Entertainment in an in-company announcement. So I'm not gonna read the entire in-company announcement because it's in similar nature of YG's Yang Hyun-seok's statement, but he basically saying, I have to step down because it's difficult for me to be in this position and face the criticism because he is YG's brother. So if YG steps down, he feels the need that he has to step down because there's gonna be allegations on him from the media saying like, oh, it's still YG's company, his brother's still in there. So he feels the obligation and the responsibility, so that's why he's stepping down. And that's the gist of the article, and that's the status quo of this situation so far.
And also another thing he mentioned is that as a company itself, like he wants YG to grow further. Like he doesn't want YG to totally disappear. So in order to do that, he felt that there needs to be a big kind of change, a drastic change. So that's why he's letting everything down.
So that's the current situation at 6:55 p.m. June 14th. Just in case more news comes out before we upload this.
This is all breaking, by the way.
This is all breaking news. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what will happen to YG. And are the brothers stepping down in any ways an effective way to change the culture or change the direction that YG is heading right now, which is quite frankly very, very downwards.
So what do you think will happen to YG?
It's very difficult to say.
It's difficult to predict anything.
Yeah, because I didn't expect first of all the person A to be Han Seo-hee. That was a big shocker to me because Han Seo-hee has a very, very negative reputation in Korea and probably everywhere else. So to find out that this person was Han Seo-hee, it was like, oh, that girl again, she's the troublemaker. And then the next response was like, okay, she was the one who reported this entire thing herself. So now she's kind of become this forerunner, that's dragging everybody along and exposing YG, and she's kind of become the icon of this. She's become the spotlight of this entire case so far. What's really surprising for me, and maybe this says a lot about YG Entertainment as a company, is that Han Seo-hee wasn't even a fucking artist.
She was a trainee.
She's an ex-trainee in YG, and she's tied with all these drug-related things, incidents, in Big Bang and also on Icon. So like it's two generations of K-pop.
And also her herself is a trainee, so it's like top to down.
Yeah, it's like the entire company, like on every level, there's something going on, and that just baffles me that this entire company
and the whole Korean public as well. Like people
yeah,
are
it's
saying
like
they are rotting from the roots.
She's a mere trainee, and she's doing this. So it's kind of crazy, and I think that says a lot personally about the company itself, because I highly doubt that there's no way that the employees did not know about this.
But if we choose to believe Han Seo's claims about YG and what's happening and her side of the story, what's very fucked up is, first of all, YG tried to bribe her out of this situation, like to make her silent and try to cover drug allegations. And also, it's not clear if it's Han Seo's lawyer or not, but there's a lawyer called Bang who is involved in this case as well, and he was involved in Seungri's case as well, coincidentally. And he claimed that YG had a way to remove the substances of drugs inside their artists by sending them to detox in Japan, and with some advanced technology we don't know. So that's why YG said to Han Seo that even if BI went through a drug test, he would get negative, and then Han Seo got scared and maybe like she did like that. But anyways, yeah, again, I'm not taking Han Seo's side, but she really seems sincere kind of to me, because she said like, I'm not doing this to get a less sentence, to lessen a sentence. She's actually doing this because she really thinks like the whole situation is so fucked up, like the police and YG ties.
Like more than like her sincerity or whatever, like I honestly like I've been following Han Seo for a while. I don't really take her as a very credible person.
Me neither,
but at the same time, like the reason why I kind of believe her testimonies right now is the fact that she has no real benefit. She's not really gaining it.
She's just throwing herself into the pit.
Yeah, actually, she's like, she could face more allegations. She could have just gone like, all over this and like just said nothing.
Right.
And honestly, I believe that nothing would have happened. Nothing would have happened. But she just came out, and I think there is really nothing there for her to gain, other than, I guess, a few minutes of spotlight. And what's interesting is, right now, Han Seo's reputation is actually a level above YG Entertainment's reputation. So people are choosing to believe her instead of YG Entertainment. But all in all, like, I think this could be perhaps a good event in K-pop, because I think during the past decade or so, where K-pop has been launched into the global market, and the market size for K-pop as an industry has grown so exponentially, we've only been focusing on like growing, more and more audiences,
views, more money,
and all the media attention on K-pop has been like, oh, this is so great, this is such a great thing. And like not a lot has been touched on the darker sides.
Right.
If we want to legitimize K-pop as a cultural export, I think we need to look at the bad sides of it and then root it out. And I think this could be the YG Entertainment thing could be the catalyst for an entire cleansing.
Exactly.
And I think
actually,
it's a good event.
what's ironic is a lot of people said the exact thing for the Burning Sun event.
The difference between this case and Burning Sun is, in a sense, like Burning Sun is a way bigger thing than some individual taking drugs, but we have the key evidence is coming from someone who was inside and involved in the case. So like Han Seo herself, who was the person who mediated the alleged drug transaction with BI, has come out herself to talk about these things. So I think we have a better chance of finding the root cause of the problem.
Yeah, for the long run and the success of K-pop as a whole, in the big picture, I do think like For example, we have to investigate why these artists are using these drugs so much. Why are they involved so much with drugs? Why wasn't there an intervention? Why didn't the management step in? What was the problem with the whole system? Like, why did people keep quiet? And at the end, why did the artists actually take the drugs? Were there any mental issues? Were they fragile or blah blah blah? Or are they pressured to pump out music? Like those kind of things. It should all be like, rooted out
within the conversation.
And step by step. And then this is gonna be a whole purge, and it's gonna be like this cleansing event. Like as YG, as the representative, because they're one of the big three.
Regarding mental health issues, I highly doubt that this conversation will lead to that, because at the end of the day, Korean public is very anti-drugs, and it's not gonna. I highly doubt that
it's not gonna justify anything.
The conversation not, and I also think like depression does not justify drug use either. It's a personal choice. But anyway, I do think this is a very good opportunity for K-pop in the long run to have a correct direction that we're going, because we've been so much focused on like just growing as an industry and neglecting all these issues. The most exciting thing about this case is that maybe we can finally get some hard evidence regarding ties with music labels or entertainment companies and the police. This is not only an issue of K-pop, but as Korea as a society in general, because the Korean public, people have lost faith in the police now. This is a very good opportunity to either regain that trust or find out like what was going on around.
Here's this funny question I want to ask. Do you think YG will change their name?
I do think they should change their name.
Me too.
That will be a good direction from a business point of view, I think.
And also, I don't think like this, like resigning from the top, like the head, like changing the head, is like seen as a very formal and
it's a
very typical
move.
Political move.
It's a very political
so
move.
In order for something to really change, even the name thing, that's a political move too, but for something to really change, it has to really change like upside down. Like the whole policies and the management structure has to really change. And in order to see that, like YG, the new, CEO or the shareholders or the executives, they'll have to put out a public statement or a public, presentation.
They need a drastically different CEO that will be willing to change up everything. But I highly doubt that, since seeing from like the shareholders what they've done so far, like they appointed Yang Min-seok to the CEO position right after the Burning Sun scandal. Seeing all that happen, like I highly doubt that really drastic changes will be made in YG. I have my doubts on that.
But I believe that without drastic changes, YG has no future. And we didn't talk about Suwon actually, because he's actually like a very small part in this.
Position.
I think Dispatch used his name kind of to gain more like publicity. And there are people saying that like Suwon from Winner did actually close his eyes and not report to the police after even knowing like BI was taking drugs and stuff like that, because he was the messenger. Like he knew the content, but he still stood silent.
I would say in his defense, like
me too, like there's a lot of like power structure involved here, and like if you're a artist of the company,
you're in the very low.
You don't have no say, and if your CEO directs you to do this, like to deliver a message, like what choice do you have? Like, can you expose the whole company?
I'm not saying he did something good.
We're not defending him, but like at the same time, he has no option. Like
he has very little options. So I don't think he's doing anything good, but definitely like. If you're a human in his shoes, then it's very difficult to be the whistleblower in that situation.
Exactly.
One last thing regarding your point about mental health. Like I see a lot of comments on Twitter or even on our YouTube comments saying like, like BI must have been like in such deep troubles. That's why he purchased LSD. Well, I do think like mental health has a correlation with drug abuse. That's true. I don't know if he abused the drugs or just used it, or if he even used it. But at the same time, I don't think that's a really good defense
That's not a justification.
for drug use, because if you think about it, Hanzai herself, when she was caught with drug use, when she was caught with weed, nobody on the internet was saying, "Oh, look how depressed trainees are," right?
Mm.
But now when their favorite artist does drugs, it's like, oh, he must have been so depressed that he reached out to drugs. I think it's either or. Either like Hanzai was also a victim too, or they're both drug users. So I think that's a little bit funny when I see that in that logic. But
Yeah.
I do think like mental health has something to do with it, but I highly doubt that it will be taken seriously when dealing with this case. I'm more thinking like this will be a restructuring of how YG becomes more transparent in their business stuff, because I think the major thing is not BI doing drugs or whoever doing drugs. I think that's the least of the problems, and I think what the Korean public is most focused on is YG's ties with the police themselves and how BI got away with this alleged drug use without a single investigation. So I think that's the biggest factor that people are asking to change right now.
I mean, this brings us back to the case with Seungmi as well. When he said in the Kakao Talk, like, how much effort I put into like convincing like the police official to get you out of DUI, or it's not about drugs anymore. I think. So we have to really eradicate the ties with the police and the corruption.
It's for justice.
Yeah,
justice in the Korean society.
The other question though, like, what do you think like stepping down from the throne will have any meaning at all? Like, because they still have the shares. Like, I see that's a very big point.
Well, if anything was to be changed, they would have to step down. That's the first step, I think. So I don't know if this is going to lead to change, but this is their first step. And if any steps were to be taken. And
I just have to let you guys know, like, who are all worried about like, oh, there's still gonna be puppets because they like YG has 16% and his brother has this much percent, so they have like a huge amount of shares of a company like who is a 주식회사. The shareholders have authority on like the company's direction or management plans or blah blah blah. But I would have to say that is all like macro level. And in the micromanaging level, the CEO or the executives within the agency that make the actual decisions for like really detailed things actually kind of like set the direction, and then like it gets kind of evaluated or
it's like
redirected through the shareholding committee.
The shareholders are the curators, and the CEO is like the painter.
So like I think if there's a new CEO, if he is like clean, if he is not connected to YG, we don't know what will happen, who this new CEO will be. But if he's like a really fresh or like revolutionary person, like he won't get swayed by like shareholders like YG who have like an enormous amount of like YG cannot like call him and say like do this, do that.
And the thing is like YG is at such a bad place right now that
I doubt he's gonna like puppet master.
I doubt that they would want like YG shareholders would want the same practices to be held again, but who knows? But we'll keep you guys updated.
And what's very interesting to see is like actually tomorrow, the stocks only fell down 5% today, and this was all before YG resigned.
Okay, so it's gonna go up tomorrow. I bet.
That is the question. Is it going to go up or down? Like, what does the public think? I probably think it's going to go up.
But I also believe after we post this video, Dispatch is gonna drop another bomb.
Yeah, there's gonna be more stuff revealed.
It's like,
but nevertheless, the stock market is a very interesting thing to see too.
Yeah.
But like, who knows? Like all the big investors, like the Louis Vuitton company, maybe they'll pull out finally, once and for all, because after seeing all this shit. So we don't know what's going to happen to the market. If the stock market gets very fluctuable, if it becomes more volatile and like YG, like, you know, like plummets down and stuff like that, it's gonna affect the whole K-pop industry for sure. Like the stock prices are a very important point as well. So that's going to be a very interesting thing
to see
observe.
tomorrow. And yeah, stick around. We'll keep you guys updated. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully less news until DK news. Or we gotta film on the weekend too. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.